Hello, people. This is the SB Hippie, and I don't have to reveal my full name because the full name is now on my profile name, which replaced Lenini 056. I don't like it that way. And I'm about to talk about a very controversial issue, which is the autism cure. And this is going to be about why do I fear the cure? Why do I'm afraid that when it comes, it's going to lead to more problems. Why do I have so much fear of it? Okay. And I was inspired to do this video because I was looking around Autism Speaks videos and I found some, comments that they were attacking the ones on the autism right, saying, you guys are stupid, my son needs to cure because he can't socialize or everything or yada yada yada. And then they said that when they take the cure, they're gonna make them better and more and live on with their normal lives in society. And I kind of was baffled by that. And I responded by saying, what would happen for the people who were in the anti-cure perspective? The ones who don't want to take the cure once it's found. And that's what caused me to make this video. And I listed reasons why I fear the cure a lot when it's found. Okay, let's get started. Number one, more stigmatization and prejudice, specifically to those in the anti-cure perspective. When the cure is found, it's going to be a perfect day for the ones who, poke around or make fun of autistics, even for the ones who hate them. Because knowing that, there's like some kind of a potion or vaccine that's going to, take away autism, and they're going to poke them even more, specifically to those in the anti-cure perspective. And you gotta realize that if you look deep of why some people want the cure, it's because prejudice, and when it's found, it's gonna be more prejudice to the ones who don't want to take it, who don't, they actually hate taking it because and they believe that autism is what makes them special, and that's what's gonna cause more stigmatization, prejudice, which they will be poked around a lot, made fun of, or even put down, or even commit violence against them, just because they don't want to be like everybody else, normal. And then it will cause most, or I don't know, most, some, or half of them to want to take the cure because they're being pushed around for what they believe in, which is the anti-cure movement, and it's gonna push them around. It's pretty sad. So be careful of that. Number two, less autistics, more isolationism. More isolationism. To again, the anti-cure ones. Once a cure is found, there's gonna be less autism to hang around, man. Like imagine you're trying to look for somebody and you've just been recently diagnosed during the cure. When the cure is found, and then you decide, I don't want to be cured because I'm just find a way up. But you're gonna have a hard time trying to find others like yourself or myself or anybody from any spectrum of PDD, NOS, Asperger's, autism with the new psychology. I don't know what's going on, but they're taking off and they're putting all into one category, which is autism, which I heard. And I don't want to talk about it, but I don't have time. That's why. And it's gonna lead to a point that you can't find them anymore because there's less of them around because of the cure, and at the same time you're gonna have a hard time trying to socialize with people because most of them are trying to make fun of you since there's a cure around, and you don't want to, and they could say why you don't want to take the cure, man, it's gonna make you one of us, you're just a loser, or the R word, I can't say it because I hate it. And then it's gonna isolate you more. It's gonna lead to a lot of mental issues that are gonna pop up, especially depression. Number three, race and health risks, especially in the brain, since autism is naturally imprinted in the brain, just like genetic traits such as eye color and such. Autism, when we were born with it, it's like stuck in our brains. A lot of people say it's vaccinations, but you know what? I'm not sure if you see it, but it's gone. But I just got I just got myself a tetanus vaccine. They put it in, but does that make me more autistic? No. And then they have other issues like environmental, but they don't just look in a genetic perspective. There's some proof they say it's mutations or genetic disorders, but I don't think, autism is a disorder, from my opinion. I think it's the next stage of evolution. But, when you're trying to find a cure for something that's already imprinted in the brain, that's like saying, I want to play God. I want to change your eye color. I want to change your facial features, your nose shape, or your or your hormones such as hair, or and a lot of things. A lot of traits. And if the day they find an autism cure will be the day they can control humanity's genetics. And and because when the cure enters your brain, it's gonna screw some things up, because there's a lot of things you can do with autism that nobody seems to look, which is pretty much underrated. Which leads me to the fourth reason: risks, which is number 4: risks of losing positive autism abilities. Sure, it causes problems, but almost makes all of them on the spectrum super smart, because we autistic, we tend to be super intelligent. We're very brilliant, and specifically in the things we like for me, I'm into guitar playing. And I love music. I sing a lot. If you know me, he's saying, oh, he's a good musician. He talks a lot about music. He's interested. And you got a lot of people, specifically the savants. There's like 25 of them, I believe, on the high functioning savants who are Aspies, I believe. But you talk to them, they're super incredibly intelligent. Like, there's this guy who knows every day of the year of how the weather was. It's insane. That's what a lot of people don't look at. That's what they have to look more, especially for the Autism Speaks, which I despise, because they give us autistics a bad name. And think about it. If you have an autistic child, not the severe ones, because I can understand, but sometimes severe ones can be really intelligent as well. But the ones who are high functioning, PDD-NOS or Asperger's, you look at them, you see that they're very brilliant at what they do. They're super smart. They have super senses also, which is another positive autism ability, not just negative. For example, my best friend Brian. I think you should. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna say his last name, but I say my best friend Brian, who's high functioning autistic. He hears things very far away. And they gave him the nickname Radar after that guy from MASH, because he can hear things very far. He has good hearing. I have good hearing, but I also have good sight, good visual thinking. I can think in pictures, and I'm quoting Temple Grandin here, but I can see things that other people are blind to see. Well, that's why another reason. But here comes another one, which is number 5, and this one's more specifically special. The autism cube would rewire the individual's personality, since autism can be a factor of making someone unique than any other or no disability. Because autism, in my mind, it makes people special. It gives them a personality that you don't ever get to find in people who are normal. For example, like me, I can be pretty childish, but people are fine with it, because they find me pretty innocent. But at the same time, I'm a lot into the hippie culture. I'm a lot into psychedelia, which is colors. But don't worry, I don't take drugs. But I'm also a lot into music of the 60s, 70s, and all the way from there to now, specifically the underground psychedelic movement and the hippie jam band movement. And I love it so much. If you talk to me, they're like, oh, this guy's cool. He's on to Fish, Grateful Dead, Hawkwind, Gong. This guy loves them a lot. Acid Mother Step, I didn't know that band. And I can give you knowledge about what I know. And I'm very hip. I'm also very peaceful. I love hugs. And one of my friends commented, say, do you do free hugs? But you want to know the answer? Yes. You see how I am? I have that unique laugh, but I'm very cool. Oh yeah, but no, I'm not. I'm sorry. I got the giggles because I'm talking about personalities, but a lot of my friends, like Kevin, like my good friend Kevin, I'm not gonna say his last name, but he's very into grunge, and he loves a lot of things that are cool, and that makes him unique. And he actually agreed with me of the 5th reason, why do I fear the cure? Because I noticed him, and his personality is very awesome, and I like about him. That's why I became good best friends with him. Same thing with Brian, and then he's loves Star Wars. He's such a hardcore Star Wars fan as I am, and we do impressions of him all the time, and it's kick ass, man. You know, and my response to the new episodes of Star Wars that are coming on episode 7, 8, 9, I'm definitely hyped out to see it. Heck yeah! May the force be with us all. And I'm talking about autism personalities. And my other friend Andrew, he has Asperger's and he loves movies. He talks to me a lot about movies. He's an expert of that, and he's so into that. I mean, it also conflicts with the fourth reason and the fifth reason because it kind of connects with each other. You know, which is for risk of losing positive autism abilities, and number 5, which is rewiring the individual's personality. But imagine if the cure is found. Take that, put it in. You know what's going to happen? I was going to take that personality away. You're going to transform into a completely different person. I mean, if for those who have brothers and sisters who are either normal, who has one who's normal, one who's autistic, you have to compare them to each other. They're pretty unique, but they're far apart from each other. But that's what makes them special for people with autism, because it gives them a cool personality. But put a cure, you're going to take that away. And you're going to transform into a completely different person. Because the person that you know, for example, imagine me who was into music a lot, suddenly becomes this other kind of me that is very unknown, or my best friend and other things. And for example, another best friend of mine named Danielle, she's very special and she's cool. Which she's so awesome and she loves a lot of things I'm not into. Imagine taking that taste, like she plays the flute a lot and loves, loves studying music and she's into medical stuff, but take that away when you give them the cure. Think about that, guys. And this is all the reasons why I do fear the cure. So you better think about what's going to happen when the cure is found. So think. I understand people with severe autism. I understand that they need some treatment or cure to get them to live normal lives. But in my opinion, I think they deserve better services and understanding about what they can do. Because once we can do that, it's way better to give them the cure, and then it's way better to not give them the cure than to understand them. That's what we need to do, understand them. And once we do that, all our problems will be solved and everything will be fine. I know it's pretty difficult to talk about topics like that because I don't want to cause a controversy. I don't want to have a lot of fire hatred in me. But when you think about autism cure, you better think about the other ones in the spectrum who don't want to take it. Think about them, not just your son. You want to give him the cure, but think about the others. What they're gonna be. Remember, 5 reasons, which is I'm going to repeat them, which is 1, more stigmatization and prejudice. 2, less autistics and more isolationism. 3, raising health risks, especially in the brain. 4, risks of losing positive autism abilities. And 5, rewiring the individual's personality. So think about that, people. About the ones in the anti-cure perspective. And the ones that you have to do a little bit of the brain. Because the day we can change autism to normal is the day we can change anything in our minds, which is in other words, mind control. I don't know, or other things like that, which I don't really know. So think about it. Watch this. After you watch this video, take as much time you need and think about what's going to happen to the others. Alright? And this I dedicated to my best friend Danielle because she helped me a lot and I helped her too. Because she's a really groovy girl. Also my other best friends, which is Kevin, Andrew, Sean, and Brian. I love you guys very much. So have all you a groovy day and das vidanya.